racing is it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Hello and welcome everybody back once again to the SFRGT Challenge Friday Night Season 4, Round 5 here at the Red Bull Ring. We were last week, of course, at the lovely circuit located in Silverstone, at Snetterton, located in England. We're here today in the Austrian Alps at the lovely brand new Red Bull Ring, the newest track added to ACC, and I cannot wait to get along to it. Now a little bit more about this track. 2.6 miles ahead of these drivers tonight, or 4.3 kilometers. It's a track founded back in 1969 and has gone through a few different names. Red Bull, well, shocker, hasn't existed since back then. But regardless, located in Spielberg, Austria, in the middle of the Alps. Got 10 corners, 3 to the left and 7 to the right, with 65 meters or 315-ish feet of elevation. About a football field of elevation that you're going to be seeing here tonight for these drivers. And we have a nice jam-packed grid. 15 drivers on the field here tonight, battling it out for the championship. And it is a tight one at that. I should have warned everybody, but we're going to have a brief flashbang here. But as we have it, there it is. You can see the standings on screen. Lucas Costa leading the championship currently at 211 points, with Marcos Vinicius behind at 170. Hamoud at 149, with Allure in P4. Joy Raymer creeping up in 5th, but as we have it, the championship, Lucas starting to dominate a little bit in terms of the points, won't lie. There are quite a few points on the line at the end of each race, so anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. And looking at the field out there, Lucas Costa currently in P4. Now, I'm not sure how long that is going to necessarily stay the case, as this McLaren driver here tonight will be tackling this track with aggression. Get some times on the board and what sort of laps we're going to be expecting here. Fastest lap currently, Marcos Vinicius. Number 17, Brazilian driver. Going to be starting up here at a 128.852. Best lap though, 128.9. Wait, hold on, what? Okay, never mind. He had an invalid one last one. Pay no mind to that. But welcome everyone. Hope everyone's had a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. As I said, we're here in the Austrian Alps. Lovely scenery around here. Joel Bandera in the Dylan McLaren. It's a McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren top 3 as it stands. And dead even times between Marcos Vinicius and Joel Bandera. Over the course of 2.6 miles, these two have managed to do an identical time down to the 100,000th of a second. Blisteringly quick. And the margins there, I mean, that is, once again, that's an insane margin. Not to mention the fact that there is only 3 thousandths between Mike Barriere, who he has just gone by, and Mike will be on a cooldown lap this time around, looking to improve on the next one. But currently, Lucas Costa setting the field alight, but the rest of the pack here, I mean, I don't even know. I don't have words to describe how close they are. My expressions are gone. Top 3 within 3, or, well, top 4 within 3 thousandths of each other. First place, though, being a little bit of that outlier. Jelson Cruz now up in a P2 as that track rubbers in, gaining more and more time. The Rockefeller Racing 992 for the 777. 7 tenths off of Luis Costa. Lucas on an invalid lap. Very easy to do so. Sector 2 is tough. In fact, I know a lot of people probably haven't seen this track, so why don't we hop on board with, let's see, the number 44 who's coming around the final corner here. This is going to be Pagani. Let's go on board with Pagani here. There's Wilhelmi heading down to the first corner. You're looking for that braking marker just before the 100. Get that rotation and clip that inside curb and use a lot of the exit. You don't want to go too deep on the inside. You can use a lot of the exit curbage, though. A little bit more. You can even run off onto the sausage a little bit, more so than we saw there from the 44. Gonna squeeze all the way left here, looking for that braking marker at the white line. Get in. You want to go a little bit later on the apex, take a late apex, and carry the speed on the exit of the corner, maximize that minimum speed. Still not a bad line. That'll be a good line to take if you're going for an overtake. Now into one of the trickier sectors, probably the toughest corner on the track there. Turning in very early, you can use a little bit more of the track as well. Pagani definitely just trying to get a few more tenths here. In fact, let's see, looking at the time, not improving as of yet. Very nice apex there, using a lot of the track a little bit too much there, but that's okay. You can kick up a little dust, not the end of the world. Nicely done through that little bit of a horseshoe sector. Rauch. And now into the penultimate corner. And through the Red Bull Mobile. Again, using all the track here. Nicely done there on exit. Heading to the line. Looks like it will be no improvement. It will be a small improvement. It'll be 30 thousandths just behind Hargan. Who will be coming back out on track. We see Evelazio Silva jump up a position into 6th there. Now Lucas Costa beginning his lap. Why don't we get a little bit of a comparison? Now's a great time. The McLaren a little bit louder than the Aston Martin. Later braking there into T1. You can see using that curb on the inside, but using most of it on the out. That's the crucial bit. The exit is absolutely what you're looking for. Maximize that minimum speed. It's flat out. There's a chicane added here back in 2022. Of course, as we know from the MotoGP incident that happened, we don't use that one, though. That is just in MotoGP. Where Valentino Rossi nearly, well, look up the clip. I'd highly recommend it after this stream, of course. Or just do it now. Actually, you can look it up on the side. It's a quick little clip. Now into Sector 2. Late braking again. There we go. Compromise that first corner to run deep in the second. That is how you maximize minimum speed. That's what I was talking about there. Pagani, definitely take notes here. Down into 3rd. This is the similar line that we saw, though, to Pagani. Very good. And again, using all of the track available. That's crucial. Can't use more, though, than is allotted. The grass never far away. Get far left again. Almost like you're turning into pit lane there. That'll be pretty tricky for the drivers in the race. And then over the final corner and heading to the line now. That's going to be another lap from Lucas Costa, and that should be pole position improvement. And it is. New time set. Jelson Cruz is whittling him down. And Fabiano Rousseau, welcome. The Brazilian crew. Obrigado, as always. As we see them attack the zebras. Lucas Costa doing an excellent job. Marcos Vinicius trying to sneak into the top three. 77 thousandths off of it currently. Marcos Vinicius through into Sector 3 here. Time is improving again. Let's see if he can keep it up. Into the penultimate corner and through the final here. Current time is a 28.3. Are we going to see an improvement? No. Down on the time for Marcos Vinicius. Evalazio, similar story here. Needs to find some more time. Marcos Saldana up in a P8. So Fikri Azka, the Indonesian driver. Fikri here has been on an absolute tear in the past. Currently, I think in P12 in the standings, 86 points to the name. Creeping up behind Rocky Rocco, who unfortunately was not able to make it out tonight, is experiencing some technical difficulties, and we'll leave it at that. Shark Bait, Devin Small Block Anthony, how's it going, brother? Currently, Devin sitting in P13. Love to see it, though. Devin, appreciate you heading out here tonight. Fikri Azka, still P11. We have Barry Hargan. And the Gulf Porsche by Quadro Racing. Unfortunately, don't have that livery. But liveries that have been brought to the table here tonight. Holy smokes. Look at this one by Mike Barriere. Qualifying has come to an end, but the drivers that are previously on a lap will be able to complete it. Any driver that hasn't started one will be able to finish it, but will not be able to start a new one. But look at this. It's a corker of a livery. Incredible. Great work there from Mike Barriere. Going to be trying to improve. Jesus Gomez, welcome. Also, to anybody that is looking to use subtitles, I do have subtitles working, finally. I was wondering it on the last stream. I have confirmed they are, in fact, working. So if having the English subtitles up helps you out, they are now available here at SFRGT Challenge. And yes, Jesus, I'm doing well. How about yourself? Glad to see you make it out here tonight. Who you supporting? Supporting Lucas again? I'm assuming. If so, it's looking like the right choice. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to sit here, folks, and watch this screen because I don't have any B-roll for us tonight. The B-roll for this track, this is a new track. The B-roll has not been released yet. So, this is what we have. We can kind of shuffle around. There we go. That's better. We got a little bit of B-roll at the very least. As we see Mike Barriere parked to the side of the road. And we wait for the session to transition over here into the race itself. Now, what is the race here tonight? Ahead of us, it is going to be a 75-minute race with one mandatory pit stop. Tires, tires are required and fuel is optional. Had to read that one twice there to make sure. It's actually a bit of a different way to do it. Normally it's the opposite, but no, it is going to be tires only and fuel is optional. Most drivers, I think, will take fuel, though, along with their tires. Cass, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Wishing everybody some luck. They're going to need it. A new track out there tonight. How much have they practiced? Mike Gravelli in chat. Welcome, Mike. As we have, well, let's get some nice calm beats in the background by Chris Laronde Alpha on SoundCloud if you are interested. And speaking of this stream, it is brought to you by SimStaff. Now, in case you are curious, SimStaff is hiring. They're looking for people just like you and me. If you are interested in becoming a steward or anything along those lines, they have plenty of jobs available. Head on down to the link in the description and tell them that SFRGT sent you. You can travel around the world, do all sorts of fun stuff. Now we are finally into it here. Let's get it rolling here. And let's get in. Let's meet our drivers. Get all the optional stuff off the screen. And starting off here in pole position, I think this is the first time it hasn't been the entire season, more or less, but it's finally not a Brazilian front row lockout. But we still have a Brazilian starting up in P1. Lucas Costa, the number 90 McLaren, lines up here at the front for Brazil. Lined up next to him, though, is Gelson Cruz, the 777 from America. Marcos Vinicius, a bit of a Brazilian sandwich. Sounds quite tasty, actually. But Marcos Vinicius in P3. Joel Bandera, fourth quickest here tonight in the Dylan McLaren with Mike Barriere in the Modena Motorsports Porsche. Barry Hargan in P6 with Evilazio Silva in 7th. The number 38 Ferrari 296. Marco Saldana, 8th quickest for the number 11 with Guilherme Pagani in P9. Patrick Dubois, 10th quickest with Fikri Azka in P11 for the Indonesian driver. Mike Gravelli, the Canadian, in P12 in the gravel trap racing with Devin Smallblock Anthony, should I say, in P13, the 664. Allure in P14, and bringing up the back of the grid here, we have the Italian Stallion. It is going to be an Anthony Lombardo. New driver to the field here tonight. And if you are interested in signing up, do check out the description below. There is a link to our SimGrid, where you can find this championship. It is too late, unfortunately, to be a part of that $20 bonus at the end of the season. There will be a rolling where 2 random drivers could potentially win $20, but I think that is out of contention for anyone just joining, but still nice to have a good time. Now, what is on the line for these drivers here tonight? Well, it's actually quite a bit. It's $100 USD cash prize for the top 3. $50 going to P1, second to P2, and third getting 20. Wait, what did I say? Second getting P2. Second place getting 30, and third getting 20. On top of that, the top 10 will be receiving a 10% discount to use towards their Coach Dave Delta bundle subscription. If you are looking for setups from the likes of Jardier and plenty of other folk that are, as well as a lovely layout spreadsheet-like data to look at your laps and your timings to dive in and improve your setup, check out the link in the description if you are interested to sign up for that. Now, on to the outlap. Lizzie joining us here tonight. Welcome, Lizzie. Cheering on Devin Anthony again, I would imagine. Always there for Devin. You love to see it. We have 75 minutes ahead of us, and I already feel my voice slipping. That is never a good sign. But we hydrate through it. We hydrate through it, folks. Got a pretty standard top 7. The Bentley in 8th, though. That's where things start to get a little weird. You got Bentley, Aston, McLaren. A bit of British representation down in 8th to 11th. Then beyond that, a bit more standard. Lots of Porsches, lots of Ferraris, lots of McLarens. Again, pretty typical grid makeup here that you would see from any championship, for that matter. We are using the LFM BOP tonight. That is something to keep in mind, so the McLaren should not be as much of a rocket ship as normal, but that is neither here nor there. Lucas Costa starting off on pole position. Jelson Cruz in second. I'm Mike Nause in the booth as we get ready to go green here tonight. Approaching the line here, the brand new to ACC Red Bull Ring. And we go green, 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 heading down to Niki Lauda curve, and it's going to be a pretty dead even start. Jelson Cruz, though, going to be challenging the inside line into the first corner. He goes for the brakes late. It's a bridge too far, though. Lucas Costa, he thinks twice. He backs out of the corner. He thought he was going to make contact with Jelson, but no. He ends up going off the track there and losing multiple. He's down to 6th. Marcos Vinicius now at the run, heading down towards turn 2. Outside line for Marcos. Jelson needs to go late, and hold on. He doesn't. Is Marcos too deep? No, he gets it done. Marcos Vinicius from 3rd to 1st here in 2 corners. Joel Bandera, he's sitting and watching and just trying to wait for an opportunity. We see side by side between Lucas Costa and Barry Hargan behind as Lucas tries to make up the crucial ground and the crucial points that he lost here early on in the first corner. Mike Barriere. What does he have in the tank here for the Porsche 992? Marcos Vinicius. I know it says Jelson's in the lead. No, now it says Marcos is in the lead. We're good. That may change at any point in time. As Jelson needs to be careful. It's an endurance race. It's not a sprint here. We got 75 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time to go for an overtake. I know he wants to keep with Marcos, but that's the crucial bit. Keep with him. Pull away from that back 3 pack as we're seeing some 3-wide action potentially developing here for P5. Oh, big curb usage there from Evalazio, and that's going to cause chaos behind, and there's going to be a car spinning off. Barry Hargan into the grass for a picnic here in Austria. As lovely as that sounds, it's not where you want to be at this time. Let's dissect that one a little bit more here into the first corner. We're going to see that Ferrari clip that sausage curb on the inside, and just 3 doesn't go into 1, really. The Bentley maybe putting his nose where it shouldn't have been. It's hard to tell. I gotta say, though, Barry, nothing Barry could have done. Now back up front here. As Lizzie in chat saying, plenty of time. I don't think these drivers care. Side by side, Lucas Costa through Sector 2, heading down towards Rauch and into Verth. Joel Bandera, no response. Now this can only go well, I suspect. Grab your popcorn, folks. Well, don't grab it yet because I was about to say, just don't move anywhere because this is going to develop very, very quickly, and I suspect there isn't going to be all cars facing the right way. We're good so far. Uvalazio is going to be pulling away and smiling as he sees Marco Saldana, Fikriazka, Dubois, and Pagani all scrapping down here. Inside line for Pagani. And that's going to be Mike Gravelle, who says thank you very much. While everyone's distracted, the little Porsche that could, the go-kart. To the inside goes Mike. Oh, but so does Patrick. And Mike kind of caught with his pants down there momentarily. He has a brief contact with Pagani. Unfortunate. You hate to see that. But just a slight misjudgment. Now back up towards the top three here for the podiums. Lucas Costa has found Jelson Cruz in the Rockefeller Racing Porsche. This is a fight that I think Jelson should let go. We go through the penultimate corner. Jelson runs wide and he should hand that position immediately over. Jelson. He's not going to hand the position over. All right, there's a lot of scrapping going on behind too. We're going to keep with this one though. Lucas with an aggressive dart to the inside. He's too deep onto the brakes. Behind that, Mike Barriere in the slipstream of Ivalazio, but I think a bit too far back. Patrick here with an outside attempt onto Pagani for P9. That is going to be just that, an attempt. A valiant one, though. Gotta say, I'm not sure that ACC necessarily got the spectator cameras right when making this track, but that's neither here nor there. Apologies for the rather poor camera angles, everybody. I don't have much control over that. I'm trying to find one that works, honestly. And I'm not really liking any of them so far. As we take a trip through the trees. Oh, ACC, come on. We just get some cameras that are... Anyways, it's not ranting time. Mike Gravelle under some serious pressure. Barry Hargan, who's down quite a few positions, 6 positions in fact from where he started, trying to make up some ground again. Does get by. Lucas Costa and Jelson Cruz are back at it again, and the camera angles are still just terrible. Okay. Man, this really gives me hope for the Nordschleife for everybody. But honestly, though, let's be real. Nordschleife coming out, I'm super excited about. I just hope that they actually put some effort into the camera angles. Lucas Costa seemingly bested by Jelson Cruz thus far. While all this has been happening, Marcos Vinicius has been able to run away into the sunset. Lucas trying to take the outside line, going all the way around here, powering that onto the start-finish straight, and it's still not enough. He just cannot find the daylight. Now that is a frustrated Lucas Costa. You can see it in his car body movement. Jelson and Lucas are losing a lot of time. This should be done. Or is it? Again, Jelson late on the brakes. There's contact mid-corner. It's very light. But Lucas, I can already see the smoke steaming out of the cabin of that car. That's just from the ears from Lucas. He is fuming right now, you can tell. The American holds on. Bit further back, this is Pagani and Azka. Pagani was ahead at the initial engagement here. Azka's deep into the grass. Loses the front end there just briefly. Manages to catch it though. Now back to our battle for P2. Lucas with a stellar exit. Is this going to be enough? Seems the LFMBOP has done wonders. Because this McLaren has no guts in a straight line, which is definitely not the case normally. Slipstream, overspeed, outside line, Lucas Costa. We've been here before. Can he change the situation though? Gets a great line and a great exit to punch it down towards Sector 2. The dead even drag race. Heading down towards gold. Outside line again for Lucas Costa. It'll turn to the inside if he can keep it for long enough here, but it's so tough to keep that outside line. Jelson, if he wants, he can force him wide on the exit there. He doesn't. And this should be Lucas Costa finally by. That was a hard-fought overtake, but the work pays off, and Lucas now has a bit of an open road ahead of him to chase down Marcos Vinicius. 5.5 seconds up the road now. And Joel Bandera just 1.5 seconds behind as a result of that fighting. Jelson's got to keep that car back. Well, pull the reins back a little bit at this stage. He's going and overdriving. He needs to be careful or he'll lose that position to Joel Bandera as well. He's been driving very well up to this point. Battling with Lucas Costa is no feat, but you can't let it take it out of you. See, this is where the knowing who you're racing comes into fighting, I guess, where strategy comes into play. As now, ooh, bit of contact again. Joel Bandera picking some front splitter damage up. Because Jelson can definitely race Joel Bandera. That's for sure. So he holds P3. I'm not sure why the timing charts on the left don't say that. But Jelson can definitely race Joel. Lucas, though, I mean, you know, I don't want to not try to take anything away from Jelson Cruz, but we're talking Lucas Costa here. He's very, very quick. And I don't want to say just get out of the way. You definitely want to give it your all. But losing, well, 3 seconds a lap, 2 seconds a lap, battling for multiple laps at a time, it costs you in the long run. And he might lose more positions due to that battle than just the single one position that he could have had from working together with Lucas. That's endurance racing, though. That's the difference between a sprint and an endurance race. You're trying to play the long game versus the short. And currently, Devin Anthony, he's looking at the short game himself. Some damage on the front end of that bonnet. Looks like a light brush with the wall. Or potentially another car, but Mike Gravelle also, who's fallen back. Now everybody has one mandatory pit stop to make. We'll probably do that around the 45-minute mark. Evalazio Silva having a scrap with Mike Barriere. As there's actually, hold on, side-by-side action behind Fikriaska and Barry Hargan. Fikri in the McLaren, the Porsche. Better acceleration, is going to get ahead. Can Fikri get alongside, though, under braking? Has the line, but no, is too far back. The Indonesian driver not going to give up so easily, though. Not going to be giving Barry a moment to breathe. As they head to the penultimate corner again. It's a short track here, lap times of about 1 minute 30. So we'll be seeing quite a few laps by the end of this, probably about 50. Inside for Fikri. This is what he wanted, or what they wanted. And that's deep for Barry Hargan. He keeps his foot in it, though, on the slip road. He should hand that position over, but there's nothing. Wait. Yeah. Okay, I was going to say, was it? I thought he was valid for a second. No, I was looking at Fikri. Fikri kept their lap valid. Yeah, Barry should probably hand that over, but I don't think there's any rule against that necessarily. Fikri coming under threat here. That's from a front marker, though. Just needs to stay out of the way. Wait, hold on. No, that's a lure. My apologies. I didn't realize that we had two cars in the same livery. I thought that was Mike Barriere. This is for position. I was wondering how Mike Barriere lapped ahead that quickly when I looked at the mini-map. So, no, my apologies. I did not realize there were two of the Modena Motorsports on the field. A lure inside of the penultimate corner. That's never going to work. Or is it? No, it won't. You really want to set that one up for, ideally, P2, or turn 2. Also, that gap up front has gone from 5.5 seconds to 2 seconds now. Lucas is on a mission. Allure here, setting up an amazing exit. This should be... Oh, but the car got loose on exit. Still, though, the Porsche out-accelerates the McLaren. This will be the inside line for the 448, and Fikriaska has vanished into the stratosphere. Okay, he's back. But the inside here is going to turn to the out. So it's not quite maybe as cut and dry as I made it out to be. To be honest, this is the first time I've commentated this track on this game on ACC. So I've never actually... Well, I've watched a few races here, but I've never seen, or I've never personally commentated one, so a little bit different racing here. Track, though, that I do love. I think my first experience on this track was F1 2018. That was probably the real game that got me into simulators back in the day. Shout out to all the F1 2018 players still out there to this day. And let's be real, it's the probably best F1 game ever made. Now to the inside, though, goes Allure. Fikriaska still defends it. Credit where credit's due. Overtaking's tough here. That is clear to see. Now, overtaking being tough, can our current champion leader take the lead of this race from Marcos Vinicius. Fellow countrymen, this is what it looks like from the cockpit of Lewis. I'm even doing it unintentionally now. Lucas Costa, big slip there from Marcos Vinicius, and Lucas immediately sees that. He takes the inside, he takes the run, and he takes P1. Outside line, though, held for Marcos Vinicius. Can he get on the throttle in time here? Lucas, the problem is, can run him out of track, and he does. And that is a new leader being held here from Lucas Costa. Marcos Vinicius not going to be handing it over that easily, but you can see the aggression immediately at the wheel is not paying off. Needs to dial it back just a percent. Now, taking a look a bit further back here, we have Mike Gravelle, Devin Anthony, and Allure all battling for P11 with Fikri Azka at the helm. Currently, 12 laps completed for these drivers, 13 for our leader. About half a lap difference between them at this stage. Devin Anthony trying to find the run for Mike Gravelle. Going to be looking for it on the exit of this corner sequence. What do you guys like more? Do you guys like dash cam, or do you guys like the one that you can see the wheel? Let me know. I'm curious. Oh no, Devin! Devin Small Block Anthony has parked it on the exit of pit lane on lap 13. He will be rejoining the track momentarily. For his sake and our sake, we won't go back and watch that. Thankfully, he kept it out of the barrier, though, so no additional damage picked up. This is Evilazio Silva. Mike Barriere. Mike looking a bit slow this lap. Silva 2/10 slower in the previous, but this time around, there is no question the Ferrari has the pace. Oh, and big curb usage there. He clobbers the sausage into the first corner. Like I said earlier, you can use the sausage curb on exit. You cannot use the one on entry, as that is a spine buster. That was a perfect example of that. And Silva not able to capitalize. Taking a look at our leader, Lucas Costa, who I'm pretty sure, well, I think I know what he was putting on his Wheaties in the morning. It was goat milk. Anyone that even chuckled, thank you, but other than that, I understand. So we go side by side to the final corner. The outside line for the 38. He's a little bit too deep, but he's going to carry the speed. And Mike Barriere slipped up there mid-corner, allowing Silva to get by fairly easily. He put the work in, put Silva in the, or put Barriere in the less than optimal position, and he capitalized handedly. Stellar job from Evilazio up to this point. Up 2 positions from P7 where he started this race. Maybe bonnet cam's the way to go. At least when we're up close like this. Mike Barriere. Does he have it, or does his teammate here? We see Allure again with Fikriazka. These two are inseparable, and quite literally for a moment. Their carbon fiber now forever linked. As they make contact here on lap 15, neither driver really affected. The only driver that is Mike Gravelle, who says, well, thank you very much. Now I'm in this fight as well. 3-way battle for P11. Oh no, and Mike Barriere facing the wrong way. This is a replay here. What happened? Was this gonna hit the wall on exit? Or what happened here? Oh! Just Porsche things. The car, the back end really was not happy the way that he took that corner. Got onto the curbs and it just kind of... Yeah, the rear end just really was not thrilled with the way that he took that final corner. Pitches him around. I don't think any other car but the Porsche would do that there, or in that situation. Mike Perrier, though, it's unfortunate. Porsche is flopping around like a walleye on the ice of Lake Winnebago. Devin Anthony, though, who we saw earlier have a bit of a spin, found himself in last place, but he wants to change that. Anthony Lombardo having a fight for his life as it stands. He runs deep through the first corner. The Italian driver, though. Let's see, what does he have in for us here tonight? A bit of damage on the front, bit of damage on the rear. That isn't going to be helping the performance of that 992. Wait a second, is that a 992? Yes. I think. Yes. Sometimes they're hard to tell. Also, Mike Barriere has decided to come into pit lane this lap. Our first stop of the night around that 48-minute mark. As I said, we'd be seeing these drivers coming around 45. We'll see. Could be closer to 35, but this is where the window opens at this stage, where we're going to start to see the early stoppers come in, and later on the drivers like Lucas Costa, who don't need to make a stop until later. In fact, it's almost negative for them to make a stop this early, as it would just send them out into traffic potentially. So better for them to wait. Always a question that I end up getting is, what's better, the undercut or the overcut? And, well, the answer is it really depends. The undercut here could be fairly good. You're going to be seeing a good amount of tire usage on this track, but not as much as, say, I mean, what's a good example? Suzuka? Yeah, sure, Suzuka. So, in terms of tire wear, you're not going to be too necessarily worried about it. But it's about coming in late or coming in early. Do you put yourself in a position where you stop this battle, for example, from Anthony Lombardo? Maybe you come in, strap on a new set of boots, and try to outpace Devin Anthony. Now, the biggest thing is consistency, as we see there, a bit of a mistake. But up at the front, if Lucas, as I said, was to pit, he might come out around these drivers, which would be negative for him because then he just has people to overtake and time to lose. And that's never what you want when you're in the front. You want to be making that maximum time up. And in fact, he is going to be approaching the back markers within a few laps. 4 or 5, probably. So far, been a very clean race. No big yellow flags, no big contacts. Granted, a 15-car field. You don't expect too many big ones. Well, rather, you would hope. Also, Mike Gravelle has decided to come in. Both of the Mikes have made their pit stop. Anthony Lombardo, new to this championship, and sending it here onto Devin Anthony in Sector 2. Not going to be able to get it. Has pace, though. You can see that. As he snakes through the sector of Sector 2. Definitely the most challenging part of the track. And heading on to the start-finish straight. Click the wrong button again. There we are. Oh! Car gets loose there for Anthony Lombardo. Great view of the Rockefeller wing here. And, well, Anthony, who was very close to the back bumper, now needs to make that back up. That gap extending. One gap that hasn't extended. Justin Cruz, crushing it tonight. Not sure where this pace has come from, but Jelson, take a look at his standings here throughout the championship. He's currently sitting in P9 in the championship with a P3, or excuse me, a P4 finish, a P2, a P6, a 17, a 6, and a 4. So fairly mid-pack finishes. Tonight, he's found something different. Found some pace, he's found a rhythm, a routine, or he just really likes this track. One of the two. One of the two. I think I offered 3 things there, but that's beside, again, we don't pay any mind to that. A little bit tired here tonight. Off the ball. Barry Hargan and Patrick Dubois. Oh no, Patrick understeers there. I thought that was going to be fairly cut and dry as there's also a spin from Allure, but Barry is going to avoid the barrier. Let's go back and see that this is a replay here. Get a different angle. So the overtake was good, the alongside was good, but unfortunately Patrick Dubois just slightly misjudges the speed of that car and sends both of them careening off into the grass. And Patrick coming off better than Barry in that instance. Fikri and Allure are up a position though as a result. Devin Anthony makes his pit stop for the night. Now within the next 7 minutes, we're going to start to see everyone come in. Probably starting with the likes of Pagani, Ivalazio, Patrick Dubois. They're going to be your sort of first takers if I have to predict anything. Patrick especially. He's kind of in no man's land right now. but he's got Fikri about 2.5 seconds behind. He needs something different. Something's got to change here for him. He wants to make up any ground tonight. So I would say the undercut looks good for Patrick. Let's go for something different. Oh, is the back end? Oh, I thought it was getting a little loose. And Lizzie cheering on Devin a little bit more. Devin's going to need it. He's in P last, but that's not to say he's in last. He has gone in for his final stop. So I think some drivers will come out behind him. Jelson. He's feeling racy tonight. He's back onto it. Marcos Vinicius going to be feeling the pressure here. Now Marcos needs to find something different or he is going to be losing this position because his lap times are dwindling and clearly something is not going right. He goes defensive onto the marbles. That'll be enough for now. But the 777, he's all over him like a dog on peanut butter. Oh, and unfortunately, Lombardo picking up a stop-go 30 in the pit lane. Again, Jelson just has to be careful, not overdrive the car. As he's looking for a good finish tonight, regardless. If he can hold P3, he'll be happy. But I still think there's more in there. He has the pace on this set of boots. I don't think he wants to be coming into pit lane anytime soon. Marcos is the one to start considering strategies because Jelson was over a 10th quicker last lap. And the lines are looking a lot cleaner for the Rockefeller Racing car. I think Marcos is starting to drive in his rearview mirror. Jelson, though, every time he gets close, has a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a mistake that just puts him back. Needs to find the consistency here to make a solid send and a decisive one as well. Can't be second guessing yourself when you're battling with Marcos Vinicius. A good run here into the penultimate corner, and the inside lane is open. It'd be bold to stick your nose down there, that's for sure. Marcos runs wide. That could have been a speed token used. Pick up 4 warnings from the stewards, and you will be receiving a drive-through penalty. The more of those you pick up psychologically, the more you will drive a little bit safer. As speaking of, oh my goodness, Jelson Cruz makes a mistake here on lap 24 and almost goes straight into the back bumper of Marcos Vinicius. Thankfully, he keeps the car straight and keeps it out of trouble. Now just 2.5 seconds to make back up. He has the pace though, but that smoke his tires. Might be time to come in after that. As the Porsche, especially when it takes spins like that here, this track, corners come pretty quickly, especially in this middle sector. You're using a lot of that left side of your car. The left tires are getting quite used here. And, well, for the Porsche in particular, it has enough torque to tenderize an elephant. So your tires get quite hot quite quickly. So far, it seems the management has been good enough, but is that a pit lane visit for Marcos Vinicius? It looks like he's attacking it, and he is. This will be a P2 runner coming into pit lane. Jelson Cruz does opposite. I like it. He'll be coming in next lap more than likely. But this will be the first of the higher runners to come in, actually. I would have thought that Pagani or Saldana would have came in first. But no, here comes Saldana, though. You can see that compromised entry. It's a very unsafe pit entry, to be completely honest. Not from any of the driver's fault, just from the way the track was designed. You have to be very, very obvious with how you're driving and where you're placing your car when you're coming into pit lane, or else it can cause a lot of confusion, and drivers can have contact and get sent into pit wall, and nobody really wants that. But that's just these old tracks. That's what happens here. And Fikri stays out again. Gotta say, why not? Only 3/10 off your pace, or off your fastest lap. Why not? Keeping those tires in good condition. Now, the same can't quite be said for the likes of Allure, who's about a second off their pace. They might need to consider pitting here soon. Although, that might be because of damage on that front end versus any sort of tire wear issues. Marco Saldana is out of pit lane here. Coming out in P10. Just behind Silva, who's made their pit stop as well. And an open track ahead of him and an open track behind of him. Gelson Cruz is in. Lucas Costa is in. Lucas is in earlier than I would have expected as well. That could be tire issues, or just rather strategy. Fuel could have fueled up for that much. As we have reached the, well, we're over the halfway point. And Fikriaska stays out again. Pagani stays out again. Is going to get a lap led, potentially. I think the drivers that I would have thought come in first are going to come in last. That's just how the life of a commentator goes sometimes. But I did get the window right. I'll pat myself on the back on that one. This is a battle for position. Marcos Vinicius and Gelson Cruz out of pit lane. Scrapping it away here. Both of them on colder tires, but I think Marcos, who was out first. Gelson, a bit aggressive, elbows out racing, gets by now. Into Sector 3. Or Sector 2, excuse me. And Gelson, oh, gets punted off the road. Marcos Vinicius finds the back bumper there. You hate to see it. We're going to go back and check that one again from a different angle, of course. Marcos was fully alongside there, but unfortunately, as soon as he got off the brakes, the car just, well, he got off the brakes slightly earlier than Gelson, and the rest is history. Allure and Dubois having their little scrap here. Dubois extending track limits, just exploring as well, seeing what's out there. He's found that there's nothing but warnings from the stewards, turns out. And Barry behind, side by side, gets a great run, but that's just mainly because this Porsche is ready to go to the bin as soon as this race is done. I would imagine we're not looking at a straight steering column here for Allure. Let's hop on board. Doesn't look too bad, actually, but a lot of steering angle to get that car to turn right. Yeah, that's not quite where you want your steering wheel to be. And he comes into pits for repairs. That's his second pit stop of the night. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Driving for 32 minutes with that would be just miserable. It's Fikri Azka coming out right alongside this crew. New tires being taken for everybody, as that is the one mandatory requirement here tonight. Azka and the Y-Lab Racing, or Y-Lab E-Racing, up one position from P11. I think we've had every driver stay in this race so far. Knock on wood. As I say that, oh man. The knock on wood didn't work. Well, hopefully Anthony, he is going to continue on here. A lot of damage, though, picked up for Lombardo. Definitely can call that one a commentator's curse. Fikri needs a lap to get those tires really back, or really up to temperature, which they have, and Patrick Dubois has picked up a drive-through penalty. We watched that one before our eyes through the first corner. That'll be need to serve to the next 3 laps. That's what I was talking about. When you're exploring those track limits, you're finding nothing but steward warnings, and he has found one too many. Reset the board, though. That might not be the only driver that gets a drive-through tonight. It wouldn't surprise me. Track limits are tough. As we approach 30 minutes left here in this race, just wanted to remind everybody this stream is brought to you by SimStaff. SimStaff is hiring, and they want you. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or just starting out, here's your chance to drive into the sim racing industry. Apply now and kickstart your journey with SimStaff. Head to the link in the description and tell them SFRGT sent you. And there's Dubois serving his drive-through penalty within the mandatory allotted time. The action has spread out a little bit on track. Won't lie. We got about a 2-second gap between Jelson and Joel. 2 seconds between Fikri and Barry, and those are your closest battles on track. I'm sure more will develop. We have tight margins still between it. 3 seconds, 5 seconds, within that range, so they're all catchable. It's just we're in that maintenance phase. Get to the end. "75 minutes out on track. It's quite enduring, hence the term enduro. Well, that's not quite why, but regardless. Fastest lap, a 1:28.4 from Lucas Costa, our race leader. The Brazilian, the flying Brazilian, if you want to say that. Last season, we had Vinicius Duzzi, the golden boy, who dominated quite a few races, if not all of them. This season, that's a new contender, a new Brazilian to do that. It's Lucas Costa. He is looking strong in the championship, and that is hard to deny at this stage. Barrier with a drive-through penalty to boot. Jelson closing that gap up to Joel Bandera after the spin that he had. He has the pace. Last lap, almost a second quicker, about 7/10. Then Joel Bandera, that is. Now, one of the statistics that I wish I could see, but can't. Oh man, what happened here? Evalazio with a brief yellow flag. And now under threat from Marco Soldano. What? Let's see this. This is a replay of turn 1. Oh, I think he did that earlier. And he hits the wall too. That's a big hit actually for the Ferrari. That allows Pagani through. And now Marco Soldana is breathing down the neck of Evalazio Silva. We're about to come back live, and we are side by side, and, well, the Bentley has the speed. That is a damaged Ferrari. Steering column looks all right. Doesn't look ideal. Maybe a slight bend to the right. But for the most part, it looks straight enough. You can really see him wrestling that car now. Turns in a little bit early there into the final or penultimate corner. Manages to make it up though in the final. Car looks all right. No need to pit. Definitely the pace is there. It's just that hit to the wall was probably more a hit to the confidence than anything else. Jelson Cruz getting by Devin Anthony. Devin currently in P14. Jelson in 4th. Rockefeller Racing teammates. Once again, though, Jelson Cruz just been on it. Joel Bandera is one of those drivers that's been nothing but consistent. If we head on over to the standings page, we can see P10, P9, and then a P3 and a P4. And then he had a DNS last week. But all in all, he seems to be anything but inconsistent. I think his consistency is there. Obviously, a bit of a separation in terms of where he finished in the one race, but still, it's about just the fact he never puts a tire wrong. He never makes a mistake. But you know who does make mistakes? Marcos Vinicius. That's a drive-through penalty picked up for our second place runner. And this is going to shake everything up. Vinicius is going to drop down the field, probably down to P7. And now Joel Bandera is going to find himself in second. Jelson Cruz back on the podium. That is huge. Now, Evalazio Silva, who is presumably closer than he looks. I'm not sure what my timing page is saying. He is not a half second. That is not a half second. I'm looking at Marcos Vinicius. Why did my what? I didn't click on Marcos Vinicius. Okay, that's weird. Anyways, Patrick Dubois getting all jiggy with it there. As we see, unfortunately, that's Vinicius pulling into the pits. And then a stellar drive from Marcos, but unfortunately, he's just driven it a little bit too hard. Lucas Costa, he can take it easy now. 21 seconds to Joel Bandera. That is not a threat at this stage of the race. He can dial it back a second a lap if he wants, and he'll still be okay. In fact, he can dial it back 2 seconds a lap if he wants, which, wow, that's insane. Lucas is quick, man. Like I say, you can say 21 seconds, but when you actually conceptualize how long it would actually take Joel Bandera to reasonably catch Lucas Costa, 21 seconds is not... yeah, well, that's like I said, that's if he would become stationary on the track, so... Joel focused on the road ahead of him, and Jelson Cruz behind. He is not worried about the race win. If it happens, it happens. Lucas would need a drive-through, though, or a disconnect at this point. And again, I think the championship fairly the same. Marcos Vinicius, your closest runner, and he has just suffered a massive shot to the foot here tonight, down to P5, running at 170 points in the championships compared to 211. If we take a look at the scoring and how many points are on offer for each race, P1 gets 55, P5 gets 37. So that's going to be a separation of 12 points beyond what is already there. Assuming the checkered flag was to fall this lap. I do think, though, Marcos Vinicius should catch Pagani. Now, will he catch Jelson? That I don't know. Patrick Dubois in the Rockefeller Racing Aston Martin, twitching as he gets onto the throttle. Mike Gravelle not going to wince whatsoever. Not worried at all about the looming British car breathing down his neck, or the Canadian driver that is Patrick Dubois. Now on that, we actually have a fight also on the pretty much same piece of track. Just ahead of us is actually the battle that we were just watching. This is for P2, Joel Bandera, under pressure from Jelson Cruz. Jelson getting a poor run. Patrick, not the same story. Has the inside line. Can he get it stopped in time here? Gets onto the brakes, takes the apex, and that's the position. Patrick Dubois gets by. Mike Gravelle, well, forced to the gravel. And that should be set it pretty much cut and dry. Up ahead, Fikri Azka has had a yellow flag. We're going to be approaching that soon enough. That's actually going to be a bit of daylight for us potentially here as Patrick Dubois gains a bit. Now is going to need another similar mistake from Fikri. But the gap cut down. Now Jelson not really able to battle with Joel Bandera at this stage. Needs to contend with these back markers before he is able to do so. That's when you have an on-track battle and you're dealing with an on-track battle. That's always the most tricky time to really negotiate, because it is a negotiation at the end of the day. Neither, or the blue flags are not required to yield. It is just required for them to not hold up the quicker cars. And that's always the question. If you are the likes here of Patrick Dubois, you don't want to be lapped. A, you don't want to be down a lap, and B, you have a nice comfy cushion between you and Mike Gravelle. Now, eventually, obviously, you can't be holding up without a reasonable thing. That's a bit rude. Not intentional by any stretch of the imagination from Joel Bandera. He just hit the inside curb and washed wide. But that did allow Jelson Cruz by as well, so now there's no more cushy, well, two-car gap between him and him and Barriere. No, Gravelle behind. Jelson Cruz, oh, Almost loses the back end. Keeps it going, though, so far. The 777, he wants second place. Be his best finish of the season, but he needs to make sure he doesn't drop further down the field. One incident, and that could cost him. 17 seconds, though, is the gap to Pagani behind. So, just need to avoid the barrier at this point, or any other cars. Patrick Dubois feeling like he has the pace to unlap himself. Trying to get Jelson to get the hurry up on here. They're teammates, of course, so I'd be surprised if we saw any sort of infighting. As rule number 1 of racing, don't hit your teammates. Jelson definitely has improved a lot. Marco Soldana down in P7. Looking for the position from Ivalazio, who I think is still nursing that damage from earlier on. Or no, excuse me, Vinicius was the driver. No, it was Silva. Oh, a little bit of contact, actually. Now, was that a slight misjudgment from Marcos or Ivalazio? I'll let you decide that, but definitely a tough one. $15 minutes to go. Completed lap 39 here so far, or we're about to come on to lap 39 here for Ivalazio. Lucas Costa, our race leader at this stage. Joel Bandera in second, Jelson Cruz in third. We have Pagani in fourth, Marcos Vinicius in fifth, Marco Saldana in sixth, Ivalazio Silva in seventh, Barry Hargan in eighth, and Fikri Azka in ninth. Rounding out your top 10 is Patrick Dubois. Let's see, how close can Jelson get to Joel here? Gotta be careful not to put it all on the line, though. Still 15 minutes left. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. He hammers down the loud pedal onto the start-finish straight. Gotta say, the LFM BOP that we have applied here tonight has really done a lot. You can see the McLaren, which normally would just be a absolute rocket ship out of the corners and in a straight line. The Porsche is able to keep up. And not only that, Porsche is able to gain, in fact, in a straight line on the McLaren, down the inside. There's contact, and Jelson, well, was that a bridge too far? Let's go back and check from a different camera angle. Really hard to tell from the one that we had. But he saw his opportunity and he went for it. I can respect that. Let's see here. So Jelson from a mile back. Yeah. That's tough. Did Joel turn in? Or did Jelson miss his braking zone? Honestly, I can't tell. That'll be up to the stewards for sure. But that has cost Jelson. He has come off worse from that incident and now down 2 seconds from Joel Bandera. Mike Barriere and Mike Gravelle for P11. the battle here for who is the superior mic. It's probably the most important one on track, honestly, in terms of battles. Put your votes in chat. Who's the better mic? No, let's not. Everybody's great here tonight, let's be honest. But no, Mike Barriere to the inside, doesn't see the opportunity, unfortunately. Or does he? Mike Gravelle makes a mistake, and that should be the overtake. Pretty much done and dusted. It is. But Mike Barriere proving himself the current superior Mike. Now, will that change as we head on down to the next corner? It looks like it may. And there's contact. Mike Gravelle says, "No, sir, I am the best Mike," and he punches Mike Barriere in the face. Bit rude, if you ask me. Definitely wouldn't get away with that in a public setting necessarily, but let's go back and take a look at that replay. As there is the move, if you want to call it that, from Mike Gravelle, who did hand the position back. Let's, just in case anyone was curious, he did give Mike Barriere that position pretty much back immediately. We didn't see it in that replay, but you can see as we come back here, the positions have swapped again. So, Mike, be in a good spirit. But it is a bit of a knife fight in a phone booth to see who the best Mike on track is. Now, for anyone curious that's watching at home, why is he so invested in who the best Mike is? My name is Mike. I'm Mike Nause in the booth, in case you were curious. So they're fighting. This is like a gladiator battle, and I feel like Caligula or something like that. Maybe that's a bad... Maybe I shouldn't use that expression, but I just did, and I can't take it back because it's live on the internet. So we're gonna roll with it. Jelson Cruz, though, trying to cruise along to the back bumper again of Joel Bandera, and he's doing a great job of it. Closed a second since we last checked in. Got one more to go. And 10 minutes to do it. And Lizzie, thank you for recognizing it. Look, it's not my best commentary tonight. I'll just be the first one to admit it. But, you know, pulling out the ancient Rome references, yeah, I mean, it's a stretch. Don't get me wrong. Probably went over the average person's head, which, fair enough. I wouldn't expect it to stick. 10 minutes left already. Yes, indeed. Let's see. We do have a battle between a Porsche and a McLaren, so the World War II references are not off the cards just yet. Though I think I made one last week. So like I say, we'll stick to the time periods. Maybe we'll just go with one time period or one ancient reference a week. If you want to call World War II ancient. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. The battle is developing again in front of us. And let's take a look at that, because that is what we're here for, folks. Not for ancient Rome or World War II references. Marco Saldana has a yellow flag on track, unfortunately, and it looks like he dropped a position to Evilazio Silva. He's in the middle of the sector, or middle of sector 1, or sector 2, it looks like. Just at the entrance of 3. Patrick Dubois with a drive-through penalty. In fact, that's drive-through penalty number 2 for Patrick. He is really struggling to keep it between the mayo and the mustard here tonight in Austria. Now Jelson Cruz, we saw last time he went for maybe a bit too ambitious of a move. Can he turn it around this time? Needs to be a bit more careful, but he's running out of time, so he's got to get on it. The Porsche and the German machinery here needs to get the blitz on towards the British. Oh, I said no World War II references. Oops. Joel has really not put a tire wrong this entire race. He's been super consistent. His lap times have just been bang on, one after another, pretty much identical every single lap. So a P2 is well deserved here tonight, but Jelson, he's found some pace that, well, I hope he keeps for next week. Because this is a newfound Jelson that he's looking like he's having a good time out on track as well. I mean, he's just having fun out there, tearing it up, going for it. You can see the raciness in his eyes, if raciness is even a word. Now, in case you are curious, what is next week? Nothing, actually. There's nothing next week because we have Easter next week. But we do have April 5th, round 6 at Suzuka. Add that to the calendar. Has he... No, he has pit. Everybody has made their one mandatory pit stop. We can pull up the deal on the left there. You can see the green next to everyone's name. We are clear. Jelson's just rapid. He's just found it. Something's clicked here tonight for him. But the real talk of the town, Lucas Costa, our race leader and has been since lap, one of the laps. He hasn't led since the beginning though, but still he's crushed it. He started in P1. Did he lead from the beginning? Man, it was like 70 minutes ago. I'm testing my memory. I feel like he lost the position at one point, but I can't remember to who, so I don't think he did. Jelson held the race lead at one point. That's right. Patrick Dubois, after suffering not one but 2 drive-through penalties tonight, track marshals have not been nice to him as he almost sends it. I think maybe picked up another one actually. Got to be careful not to pick up a 3rd drive-through penalty, but Lucas Costa bins it here. Hold on. And that's big damage picked up. I don't think it's going to matter. But Lucas Costa is human, everyone. This is the race replay. And there, the back end just goes. He gets onto the throttle a little bit too quickly. A very light touch to the wall, to be fair. That's going to be very low splitter or light splitter damage picked up. Should not be too much of an issue. With 24 seconds to Joel Bandera, I do not see a change. Jelson Cruz, he fell off a little bit here. Now down 2 seconds from Joel. I think we have finally gotten to our finishing order here tonight, barring any calamities from any of the drivers. But if everything is calm to the end here, we will be, I think, finishing in this order. This will be the penultimate lap. And there are really no battles on track at this stage. Marco Saldana, 2.5 seconds off of Evilazio. We'll keep an eye on the Bentley. Haven't given Marcos too much time this stream. We'll give him a nice little look there, the lovely Rockefeller Racing Bentley. But with now 3 seconds separating them, yeah, this will do it, I think. But like I said, obviously checkered flag, not over till it's over. So we'll stick with it. Patrick Dubois, who is battling with not anybody but track limits tonight. That is the real nemesis. You are your own worst enemy. That's the famous saying. And Patrick, unfortunately, taking that one a bit too literally tonight. And Lucas Costa on the final lap. Why don't we ride along with him? Go on board. Watch a final lap. This is going to be a lap at probably about 70% of the pace that Lucas would normally push at. He has a damaged car and is 24 seconds ahead and just probably wants to get to the line at this point. So I don't blame him. He's going to be quite happy with his victory, don't get me wrong, but it's just been a bit of a Sunday drive for him, or a Friday drive. As he will not be setting any records alight this time. Down to second gear, though. Not going to be slow by any stretch of the imagination either. Last lap, though, was a 1:29.4. His fastest lap, a 1:28.6. So he's about a second off of his normal pace here, and that is completely intentional. Stop go 30 for Jelson Cruz. That's catastrophic. What happened? Why did Jelson pit? Did he not have enough fuel? I missed that, but I think Jelson must have not had enough fuel. He came in for a quick 6-second stop, and he picked up a stop go 30 as a result, so we now have Pagani on the podium. I said there weren't going to be any changes barring a catastrophe, and there has been, and I said I was going to stick on board with Lucas Costa, and I didn't. Lucas finishes P1. Great job, Lucas. Joel Bandera, 25 seconds behind, will be coming across the line in second. And there he is, the checkered flag being waved for him as he comes to the line, and Guilherme Pagani takes home a very surprising podium. Do not think he expected it, but it's welcome for sure. In the 52 car, that is going to be Mike Barriere, finishing in 9th next to him. Not where he wanted to finish, but still a valiant attempt. And that is 75 minutes done here tonight. Marcos Vinicius in 4th, Jelson Cruz in 5th, Evilazio in 6th, or Jelson Cruz probably not in... I'm not sure where Jelson's. He's going to fall down quite hard, though, unfortunately, with the stop go 30. A 60-second time penalty added. That will push him all the way down to 10th or 9th. But what a race. As it stands, Lucas Costa extends his victory, or extends his lead in the championship even more. And there are your results on screen for the final time. We'll head back into the B-roll, but it is going to be for next week's track. This is a bit of a preview of what is to come, not next week, but the week after that, of course. It is on April 5th, Suzuka. Definitely add that to your calendars, check it out. But as it stands, that's going to do it here for tonight. Lucas Costa taking your win, extending his gap. Joel Bandera in 2nd, and Guilherme Pagani takes home a surprising 3rd, and as we completed lap 50 to finish the race. So 50 laps completed here tonight. It's been a good one. Thank you all in chat for joining. Hit that like button. The stream has been brought to you by SimStaff, of course. As I will try that one again here in a moment. But no, it's been great. Like I said, the championship looking strong. It's a bit of, I can't deny it. If we pull up the standings, I don't have a button for it, of course, but we can pull it up here. It's a bit of a runaway. This is the standings into this race, of course. So yeah, Lucas Costa looking like he'll take P1 in the championship, barring some sort of miracle. I'm not sure what it would take. But as I was alluding to there just before, SimStaff is sponsoring this championship, and thank you so much to SimStaff. If you are looking to do some work in the sim racing community and expand your horizons here, SimStaff is on the lookout for dedicated sim racers and sim enthusiasts to join their team. If you're ready to dive into the world of sim racing, apply now and be a part of the excitement. Head on down to the link in the description and told them the SFRGT challenge sent you. That's going to do it, though, for tonight. As we have it, these lovely beats brought to you by Chris Laronde. Check him out, Laronde Alpha on SoundCloud. Thank you as well to Coach Dave for the sponsors, and to chat for being amazing and providing the entertainment that you always do. I've been Mike Nause. I hope everyone has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.